Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the semi-finals between TSM and NiP. It is one map apiece. NiP taking Dust 2, TSM just taking Mirage. That leads us to where we now are. We are on Inferno. So we've just heard a whole bunch of different things about this map, and obviously we've had a few ideas ourselves about how this one is going to go. TSM do have a good track record on this map, but so do NiP.
Yeah. Especially in elimination games. That's kind of where NiP shine, especially on Inferno, weirdly enough. So every time you feel like you should count them out, you know, they're down and out, surely it's going to go the other team's way. It becomes a third map, it's Inferno, and NiP just make it work somehow. I think the only case where they didn't do it was Fnatic's victory at the Major, pretty much. And even that was an insanely close game. Yeah, so I'm expecting this to be a super tight map. You know, they touched on it, you know, during the desk. Both teams have strong T sides. From what I've heard, TSM are not that confident on Inferno as in general, and that's mainly because of their CT sides.
Which is interesting because you always think of TSM as a CT side.
Yeah. Especially, you know, a lot of that comes from the days of having Fetish as an in-game leader.
Yeah,
basically, you know, TSM/Dignitas at the time were just the best CTC in the world, and you know, equally awful on the T side. That changed quite a bit when Kerrigan joined, and especially after Kerrigan joined, their T side on Inferno has been really, really good. Their CT side has been a bit more up and down, and you know, hearing things through the grapevine during the pause that they might even opt to go for the T side if they win the knife here.
Well, that's certainly an interesting choice. I mean, it's like we were just saying off air, it's something the Mousesports often used to do on Inferno. I don't know whether they still do now that Godby's sort of at the helm, but it's certainly a choice they used to go with, because sometimes teams like to see how much they've got to do when they get to the CT side. Now, I'm thinking back to this morning, NiP had a really good T side. I think it was 12-3 against Envy, if memory serves.
Something
really
insane.
Strong T side on Inferno.
Yeah, no, they were absolutely coming out guns blazing in that game. So, you know, I think NiP would be perfectly happy with starting on the T side as well. So it's going to be kind of an interesting dynamic to see how this plays out, where potentially both teams could be kind of unhappy about starting on the CT sides, because it is definitely valid to what you're saying with, you know, it's kind of nice to see what you have to work up against.
What you've got to do.
Yeah, exactly. You know, seeing that goal, and obviously it could backfire. You could end up losing the T side 3-12, and all of a sudden you're just down on yourself because you could have chosen the CT side and had an easier start.
So suddenly we're realizing the knife round is actually really important.
Yeah, it really is in this case, and especially if what we've heard rings true for TSM. If they're that unsure about their CT side, that they might even go for the T side if they win the knife.
Well, I can tell you, I mean, I just saw them all backstage. Everybody is still in very high spirits between both teams, actually. A lot of camaraderie between them. Of course, all these players have been around for a long time in the scene, in one team or another. So they're all well aware of each other. But knife round is underway. This is the final match of the day. And every little hit and dink helps as all those decoys get thrown out there. But it does look like NiP are potentially going to come out on top here, barring any disasters. Hello, it's a one-on-one. It's Kerrigan that will go down, and Alu takes it. So what do NiP fancy? Will they actually play into TSM's hands? They will switch it over. So now I wonder whether TSM are going to be happy with that. I think they might.
Yeah, I think they might be completely fine with this as well. I guess the good thing here is for NiP, if they can get off to a hot start, that means that TSM knows they have to go into their second half and their CT side with you know, quite a big task ahead of them, and that could be not too fun to play with.
Well, Pistol, as always, is a very big part, especially on Inferno. If NiP can get themselves a solid bank built up in a couple of rounds, it is pretty huge. But TSM, they're going to be looking to do the same. Any rounds on the T side are always welcome. And of course, a great start for TSM, or either of these teams really will set that confidence, set the momentum, set the pace of the game, as the dank memes are thrown out by Device. But okay, here we go. Pistol round underway. NiP versus TSM. Straight away, go for it. I see a defuse kit coming out from Get Right.
Yeah, defuse kit and 2 flashes, so definitely you know, giving themselves a shot at a potential retake here.
Well, Freiburg actually already pinned out. He's caught in towards behind sandbags. They know his position. A Device finds him quick and easy. That means Get Right's left alone. Meanwhile, over in Apartments here, they're also being challenged out here. Forest being kept at bay, but it's a 4-man stack heading over towards B site. Zipnix and Debris crawling through tunnels interesting route to go while Get Right's getting challenged out there. He's in the corner, he's going to pop around, manages to catch onto one, but doesn't get the kill. Finds on towards Carragher, Device comes around, gets himself a second headshot. It may well just be enough to damage TSM as Alu comes around looking. A 3-on-3 exists on the wraparound as well. He tries to get a position, tries to line something up as Forest creeps his way up Banana. Now TSM, oh, Zipnik's going to get caught out around the side there. Great little headshot, but Dupree will answer on Alu round construction. 2-on-2, bomb still yet to go down. NiP just on the delay tactics here, but they know the plant has to come soon. 31 seconds as the clock keeps ticking. Dupree challenge. KGB just got a glimpse there. He's going to go for the plant. He knows he's got the angle on Exist here, and Dupree's giving the cover from Spall, so he gets the plant down. Now the pressure very much on NiP as they both push in, looking in towards Barbecue. Exist just waits, hoping that someone is going to peek around the side. NiP just waiting, delaying, he jumps on through, doesn't manage to catch them. Dupree gets the reload off somehow, he gets around the back of Exist, but both TSM have taken very low. Forest, the pistol master, can he do it? The time is running out, he's got to come around the side, he's pinned off. It was a beautiful bomb defense set up by TSM, and they do take the all-important pistol round.
Super important for TSM. You could tell that NiP took such a long time with actually, attempting that retake, simply because they know that Get Right died on the bomb site with the defuse kit, so they could allow themselves to take a lot of time. But I'm still amazed that Dupree survived that round. Normally, you see Forrest, being, named one of the pistol gods, pretty much. He missed the easiest frag of his life.
Hey, TSM starting off strong there. Grenade straight away, catching on. That was, I think, a Banana, but they were already through on towards A site. Alu just off around the side. Forest lurking in the smoke, not able to get on towards Carrigan, leaping up and down with that SMG. This is what we're more normally expecting from TSM. We didn't see the SMGs last time around. Oh, Forest catching on to Carrigan as he went for the plant there.
More close quarters on a map like Inferno, so SMG is easier to be effective with. And right now, TSM showing that. Only lost one member, that's Carrigan. Still gathered up quite a bit of money, and there's no real way for Forest to do a whole lot more damage.
KGB tracking Forest all the way there, 2-0. TSM starting off strong, not losing out, not getting caught out by any sort of anti-eco. And that's going to mean NiP. I think we're going to see a full eco coming out from this time.
Yeah, and now would be a pretty good time to actually stack the bomb site. Obviously, you don't have that much to go with, or to work with at all. No nades at all, and USPs pretty much across the board, except for Get Right.
So we'll get triple stack over on Banana. They're not going to push on down, so they're going to keep it hidden, keep passive, try and stay away, while Freiberg's the man that actually goes looking, gets heads ahead with the chicken in apartments.
This is more like a JW kind of tour of Inferno from Freiberg. So he's all the way up in here. Doesn't seem like TSM were too worried about it. Obviously, Freiberg doesn't have that much weaponry to work with, so he doesn't impose the biggest kind of threat to
It's corralled them, though. Look at it. It's corralled them into the right place. Dupree's going to get caught out by Alu. Device has managed to catch on to Get Right. They're going to push in there. Forest doesn't manage to land the shots, though, and he's going to get pinned out. So that triple stack has not worked out for NiP. They were trying just to force them in towards that B side, but TSM do lock down their third round, and now NiP with the rifles. And unfortunately for them, well, they haven't really picked up any kills over the last two rounds. The pistol round, the original round, picked up a lot, but the last two, they've barely made a mark.
Yeah, Get Right definitely could have picked up a Colt in that situation, but he wants more nades, so can't really fault him for that. But P90 it is, and he's been effective with it so far. I mean, we saw what he did on Dust 2. And it seems like Carrigan is kind of echoing Get Right's
it's funny,
weapon of choice here.
I saw Flusher, of course, who was pretty known for that P90 for a while. He says, I'm over that now. I'm all about AK headshots these days. So
quick execute up menu from TSM.
They're going to rush on straight round. Going to force him back in towards CT Arch. It's Alu that's being chased here. Carrigan trying to push him round the corner. Now, Carrigan getting, the shot didn't land, and now that's going to give Alu a problem. He's going to push on around the side there. Get Right does get KGB, but Zipnik's is on a site, and he's going to get that plant down. They've got one pinned out in towards Pit. It does exist, but they don't seem too worried about him. Freiberg manages to find himself one. That molly will keep on burning, but it keeps him pinned out as that bomb is ticking. Now support is coming. It's Freiberg just getting himself around the side, but look at this. Device is coming around behind. He will manage to get execution style on the back of Freiberg's head, and now Exist with an impossible task. Zipnix and Dupree both very low on hit points, gets himself one, but He's running out of time, and that nade, pinpoint accurate from Device, will catch him down. 4-0, great start from TSM.
Yeah, absolutely the dream start for TSM right there, and kind of surprising actually that Alu doesn't come away with a frag there in Arch. He's somewhat lucky to get around the corner without getting caught out by any of the TSM members because they were really quick to actually push up Arch there. And I think if Alu is able to pick up the frag onto Kerrigan in that situation, that swings things around in NiP's favor. But as we're looking at it, TSM up with a 4-0 and another eco round for NiP.
TSM looking to make it 5-0, but still have to be cautious. Don't want to get caught out by any shenanigans. Get right, has a flash in hand, so they might try and pop flash friberg out here. He's holding the angle with his monkey business. Ready on rating, 5-7 in hand. Could do a lot of damage at this range.
Get right has a flash as well, so that might be a pop. No, it's actually Sisters that bomb set, yeah.
He's going to go around the Deagles there. friberg gets one, gets two, tries to pop out around the side there. Does manage to get a glimpse, gets a third as well. So the triple pistol, he's done the work. And now Get Right coming in. He's going to flash himself in and around there. Tries to jump in outside, but Dupree hadn't quite gone so far. And Zipnix will get the kill. Now, 2-on-2, Alu and Forest. They're going to come from opposite angles here. Alu's managed to collect himself one of those M4s that were lying down Banana. And that's really where the damage has to come from. Bomb ticking, they have to start making the move down because it's been down for a while. NiP, no kits at all, remember, so they have to try and get it on site, but TSM holding very passive, not showing themselves. Alu gets the one, but the time is against him. And now Dupree playing this one perfectly, keeping himself in the corner. Doesn't really matter if he goes down because no defuse can come. It doesn't matter, Dupree gets the kill. It cost them a lot, no doubt about it. It was just pistols for NiP, but 5-0 is the score, and TSM have plenty of cash. Yeah,
and now we see that AWP coming out for the first time for NiP here, and Alu has, you know, shown pretty good efficiency really with those picks into mid there. We saw it especially well earlier on in this tournament. Yeah, so he's definitely shown that he's capable of doing it versus the very best.
Let's see if it works out for him. JW was impressive earlier on, back to his old form. No doubt about that one, but nothing to be gained from Banana. That molly slowing things down, and TSM actually going to start pushing on through the smoke here. But it was re-smoked. A deep one to start with. Get Right trying to hop up and get a little glimpse. Cajun B just going to get a little peek through. They do suddenly get a sniff of it. They go for the spray down. Oh, Get Right getting just caught, but only slightly. It was Cajun B that came off worse. And Device, of course, was taken down. So Get Right making it work for him over on Banana.
The one worrying factor for NiP right now is the fact that they've expended a lot of their nades, and TSM still have quite a few to work with.
Forest holding on balcony. Alu over in library, so they have this covered off. Forest doesn't manage to land the first kill quickly, but Exist does, and he just mows them down, gets a quick triple. Alu from library as well, and NiP get their first round on the board.
Yeah, it's good time to stop the bleeding if you're NiP right now. And now, obviously, you get into that scenario where there's no real option for you other than winning consecutive rounds at this point. Because if you lose now, you're going to have to double eco. TSM have pretty much gotten the advantage that they want from you know, playing this well this early on. And at that point, it might be too late for NiP to get back into this in this half.
Exist in and around Cubby. Alu pressured. This is a good little double setup for them. And Forest, the rock that is on A side, but they have tried to push on towards him. And they've cleared out the pit. Alu trying to line up, but he's going to get smoked off, and that's going to cause NiP to rotate round, but friberg picks himself up. Cajun B in quad, and now it's just the two-man defense. Zipnix on just 4 health. Device goes aggressive, but it backfires. It doesn't work out for him, and now Zipnix pinned out, will get picked up, and it is a fairly immaculate round for NiP. Just Forest going down, defuse comes in. That's exactly what they needed to answer TSM on the rebuy.
Yeah, a lot of NiP members surviving, so starting to build economy. Great work by Alu, kind of selling the fact that he was alone in Arch there, leaving Forest for pretty much, no, I mean Alu, no. Sorry, I think it was Exist who was in the corner. Yeah, exactly. So leaving Exist in a position to pick up a free kill. Obviously, Ray and Forest picking up that 1 kill. That's pretty much all they needed to do in that situation. You can hear the clock ring.
The bell's going off, but nothing to be found. Alu instead chooses to smoke out mid, couldn't find himself a shot.
TSM force buying in this round, so pretty big investment and a good opportunity for NiP to get back into this. Right now, TSM not opting to commit to anything early on because they've been playing pretty fast so far. We're showing aggression early on towards both of the bomb sites.
Oh, Freiburg being pressured. He's going to get chased down. Didn't get a chance for a reload. Get right. We'll get the revenge, but that is all. The resmoke goes down, which will be enough to slow TSM down once again. Device lurking in the midst. Like a gorilla hoping to find his prey, but it's not going to happen. Alu with the cover shot as well. You can see he's got that line covered off. Get right's going to just tuck himself in.
Yeah, TSM only have one smoke left as well, so that's probably going to be used for the B opening. And now, ooh, Alu kind of contemplating whether or not he want to stay towards B.
Zipnik's shots, that may draw the attention, but Forest getting a little peek around the side. Caught a glimpse of him, but they are pushing on towards B side. Get right has to step up and answer, and he's done it so many times, but a team kill comes out there. And Device finds Cajun B along with Get Right. And now Alu up close and personal with Exist and Forest joining him, but they're all coming from the same angle, so that's going to make it tricky. Alu's going to creep on around construction. Has to find one, but there's no one showing for him. They've all tucked in nicely. Device just in barbecue. Dupree with a crossfire, and once again TSM have a good setup. It's Alu that comes around. He manages to find one. Zipnix is the last man. Has he got time? He has to stick the defuse, but he has the angle. He's had to pull off it, and that's going to be perfectly played by Zipnix. He will get Alu in the back as well. I've got to wonder whether Alu could have maybe stuck it there, but it's just one of those moments you just never know.
Yeah, I don't think he was quite sure of his angle there, whether or not he had the cover from the fountain for Zipnix coming in from Banana. And, well, it shows that he didn't, but obviously it's an extremely hard decision to make, you know, in a split second like that. And TSM get their round back. But you could tell, you know, NiP have definitely made a mark onto this game. Even after winning that round for TSM, just surviving with one member leaves them with P90s and Tech 9. So this is a worse buy than what they had in the previous round.
Yeah, one thing's for sure, whoever loses this round is absolutely screwed economically.
Yeah, and again, TSM just starting things off pretty slow. They don't want to run into any silly aggression from NiP and lose out members that way. And additionally, this also makes NiP use a lot of nades.
Oh, it's aggressive play, but Freiburg's got himself tucked in just around the logs there, gets himself a quick double on Device and Carrigan. And that's answered in kind. Shots rattled through the smoke. Dupree not able to get the kill though. That's a good chunk of the health, and they do find Freiburg at last through the smoke there, but Get Right still stands. And I feel that means they may start to test top and mid. Alu and Forest holding the angles Exist, so they've still three-man stacked it. Alu is going to now rotate and join them, so they have to 2-on-2 on the bomb sites and just try to challenge TSM out, keep them at bay. Forest probably going to be the first man that will be challenged here as Dupree creeps around on quad. He's on that tiny, tiny balcony. We're still unsure on a good name for it, but that's what we're going to go with. It's going to work out for him. Drops on down, but Cajun B will catch him out. Exist though in pit. Oh, a lot of spray going out, and that's going to put the bullets low. Does manage to turn around with just a couple in the chamber, and Cajun B will go down.
It looked tricky there for a second for Exist, spending so many bullets on the first guy out from maps. Manages to bring it back, and a very much needed round for NiP. And as you pointed out, whoever lost that round is going to be pretty screwed in the money department. And now this is NiP's golden opportunity to get back into this, and might even swing the game into a favorable position for them.
Question is, will TSM quicken up the pace? Will they try and pile in with his pistols? I think TSM, NiP certainly are expecting that. You can see the deliberate delayed play. NiP starting to go aggressive. Freiburg wants to sniff around there, but it's all A action. Alu's about to get challenged. They're all coming around the back of him. He misses the first shot. He has to get himself in towards site there. They're going to come on round. He manages to get one. Does he get the second with a pistol? No. The bomb plant will come down. No, Exist catches him from pit. Forest with the support, and they do clean up. It's 6-4. TSM still with that lead, though, and more importantly, 6 rounds on the T side is a pretty good collection already.
Yeah, no, TSM are in a pretty good spot as of right now, but if their CT side is as shaky as what we've heard, that could be an issue, and this is very surprising for TSM. They're opting to, well, do a bit of a force buy. Given how they have lost two rounds in a row, they will be able to buy AKs and whatnot next round, but you're still going to be lacking in terms of grenades. So that could be an issue for TSM later on, but I think they're just trying to mess with the economy of NiP right now.
And you know what? they got close. They almost got in there. I think they're thinking, you know, just add a couple of Tech 9s on top and we could rush them down. This time, Alu not quite so fortunate, but he still gets away through the smoke for CT Arch. Forest comes around, manages to catch one as they pass on by and exist. And that's exactly all they needed to do. Just catch them as they run on through the smoke. Cajun B getting a good tag down. Does manage to catch out Forest. Just running on through the smoke, though. Get right manages to appear. Zipnix gets the bomb plant. Question is, can he hold on to it? A lot of shots raining through. They know where he is. Tries to push around the corner, but Freiburg will find him. And it will be 5-6. NiP get themselves the third round running.
Yeah, so with that plant as well, TSM are going to be able to be in a pretty good situation, actually. They're going to have the opportunity to buy a lot of nades as well, which they wouldn't have if they hadn't gotten that bomb plant down. So all in all, a successful round from TSM, even though it looked like at the beginning with Forrest picking up that first spike exist as well, it looked like it could be a pretty useless investment from TSM's side.
Well, Tech 9s, they so often work when you quick and switch the pace here, especially on Inferno.
Yeah,
you can't do it every round, unfortunately.
And AWP being picked up on TSM as well. So this is the first time we're seeing an AWP being picked up, and it's not Kerrigan this time, which we saw a lot of on Mirage. And AWP is normally really hard to play with on a map like Inferno. So I'm curious to see how they're going to use Device, if he's going to be the one trying to find entry frags or not. And right now, looks like they're going to boost him up to C over the smoke.
We saw JW going very impressive with it, but that's just things JW does. They're always very impressive with the AWP on this map against Titan earlier on today. Olafmeister also had a little dabble, but Device has got himself a good little angle over the smoke here. Freiburg is just lingering somewhere around there. He doesn't manage to catch on towards him, tries a second through the smoke, but Freiburg backs away, and that means they'd stacked out A side. Get Right's actually pulled himself around there, so they're expecting maybe a bit of a distraction tactic, but TSM still yet to really make any commitment on which side they're going for.
Yeah, and a pretty risky position for Freiburg to be in, that aggressive when Get Right's nowhere near to actually make a rotation in time if he goes down. But right now, they have made the right rotation from NiP.
Get Right's got himself on porch, and he's holding the angle, gets a good spray down on towards Carrigan as well. Is he going to push on? He's expected the aggression, gets himself a second, couldn't quite switch across to the Tech 9, and now Dupree opens up sight as Freiburg gets gunned down, and now Alu tries to catch the cross, but the smoke is down. That's going to keep them out, and NiP in this 3-on-3 retake situation. This time, though, Device switching from that AWP to an AK, holding the angle. And they have the position seemingly covered. It could be a perfect little spray down. It will be. Device gets himself a quick triple. And it was a fantastic defense. TSM make it 7-5.
Yeah, and TSM have had so much success going towards that B-bomb site. I think pretty much every afterplant situation they've been in have been successful for TSM, even though it's been even numbers, even though NiP have had nades, what have you. TSM have always been able to set up for those afterplants in a really good way that's allowed them to secure a lot of rounds.
This time around, Get Right's going to line up the smoke for them.
Holler's actually the one pushing aggressive in Banana now.
I'm pretty sure that was a smoke he was doing. He was stood still for a long time in CT spawn, so I'm not too sure. Didn't see the smoke go down, though. And Alu will get popped down by Device. Yeah. He's gone straight back to that AWP, and Freiburg challenges out. Cajun B down, so a 1-for-1 trade, but Device also got tagged up pretty heavily in there. You can see down to 16 health. That shotgun, it's always a gamble, but when it works, and it always is impressive. Forrest comes around, and suddenly, from a bit of a shoddy buy, NiP pick up the round and take it 6-7.
This is so back and forth right now, and it seems like whenever TSM can't find an opening towards B, they struggle to do anything because their A-takes haven't really been doing all that much for them. So it's going to be interesting to see if NiP decide to keep putting, 2 to 3 players towards that B-bomb side, maybe have all push aggressively again. Even though it didn't work the previous time, it's still definitely something viable, and you can see TSM going back to that early banana aggression.
This time it's Freiburg tucked in, Get Right at car, so both of them are in and around there. He's going to show himself a pop, actually they're below him, and it's going to be Get Right that does get the kill. Freiburg with the cover fire as they both back away, and barely took any damage, actually. Meanwhile, TSM took a whole chunk, and they're going to have to back away. Exist and Alu, this is the little setup that worked before. Alu with that AWP, with Exist just tucked into Cubby. The distracting force of Alu will try and draw them in. 79 health, little tag there as he manages to get himself tucked into Boiler, but it's going to be B site that they go towards, and Freiburg and Get Right, they have not moved an inch. They are still right there, and that smoke will delay things. 50 seconds on the clock.
Ooh, if Get Right makes this rotation, that could spell trouble for NiP.
Oh, that flash coming out just at the right time. Freiburg realized the situation, gets just about one down. Spray from Get Right doesn't quite finish the job. He gets himself just the one. And now Dupree and Zimnik's in on site, but Alu's going to get a clean shot. There's no smoke going down there. Simply a molly, because that's really all they have in their box. But it doesn't matter when Dupree pushes on through construction like that. And he makes it difficult. Exist has got to wait for Forest on the rotate. Zimnik's just on 14 health. Dupree is really the major player in this defensive setup here. And they've already passed around him. Are they going to catch him around the back there? Exist not looking. He's going to creep around behind them. The clock is ticking. Dupree will peak, but Exist was expecting it. And now it's all on Zipnix. He's trying to stick the defuse. He's going to get caught out. Forest will find him. It's all square, ladies and gentlemen. 7-7. NiP right back in it.
And there you can see TSM are so good at actually playing out those afterplans, even though that shouldn't be anywhere near as close as that was. TSM just make it work. Freiburg picking up that one frag in Banana, that should never happen. Like, he shouldn't be able to do that. So, you know, with the task that he's able to do and the fact that GetRight picks up another frag, should be pretty easy pickings for NiP to do that retake. But
it just goes to show what a difference a map can make. You know, you're looking at the scoreboard there, and both Alu and Karrigan at the bottom with 4 and 5 kills, yet they were at the top of the scoreboard over on Mirage a moment ago. Forest, though, with the opener, manages to get himself a quick, straightforward kill.
And TSM trying their luck on A once again.
They're going to push on through, but that flash will work wonders. It caught out Cajun B. He was flashed up, but Karrigan manages to just run on through the smoke with that Tech 9. Forest quick to respond, quick to react, and it was a quick round overall for NiP. 8-7, good first half overall. Both teams will be happy with that. It's about as even as you can get. But I wonder now, going back to TSM, was that enough on the T side? 8-7 rounds, I mean, normally is a great T side, I think, on this map.
That is a very good, absolutely respectable first half from TSM from a T-Spawn perspective. But, you know, talking to the, you know, hearing what they had to say, the fact that, you know, they said normally during practice we'll get 7, 8, 9 rounds, but we're still not confident in the map. That tells a lot about how shaky they are on the CT side. Without good NiP have been previously, or, you know, in this tournament on Inferno, could get really scary for them. But again, you know, it's a cliche, but the pistol is going to play such a big part here.
Well, pistol once again playing a pivotal role in what could be a giant second half for both teams. NiP, will they be sticking together? Who knows? Rumors are rife. TSM, on the other hand, will they fall prey to NiP once again? It's all about Get Right this time, pushing in. He's the man, the Tech 9, the raid boss, pushing on through. Cajun B caught out by Freiburg. Device tries to go aggressive, but he's forced to back away on balcony as NiP start to swarm in towards A side. Device gets a peek, but he doesn't manage to find Forest as the head is popped. And Karrigan, oh, he's not expecting the man behind. It's Exist, who's not going to miss. He's been on point throughout this semi-final, no doubt about it. And Zipnix picks himself up a kill, and not a single man from NiP will fall. It's 9-7, and now the USPs, the SMGs, they're all being picked up. USPs? Nobody's picking a USP up. Actually, it's a lie. Freiburg did.
Yeah. But yeah, there we saw NiP just kind of going with full force, having Exist drop the Tech 9 for Get Right, and then just picking up a smoke. The rest of them going with Kevlar. And just out shooting. That was the second flawless pistol round NiP has had this best of 3. And TSM, with an already apparently shaky CT side, they're got off to a rocky start. But look at this 4-man stack here from TSM on the B bomb side.
I wonder if they're going to walk into it. Forest has found Karrigan. He was the sole defender over on A side. And that means Forest is going to go looking, but he's very cautiously doing it because, unbeknown to him, there is a big stack over on B side. But I think Exist might get Freiburg to flash through here. They have smoked off CT spawn.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised if NiP actually just sacrificed Freiburg here.
Well, look at Forest. They're actually through now. Now they're going to start to realize, they're like, wait, guys, there's nobody here. And I think we're going to see Alu collect the bomb here. Freiburg's already backing away. I think they've realized it was a 4-stack. And Freiburg's just going to try and pin them. Forest is coming around to get the angle. Oh, but it doesn't matter. Freiburg's just going to keep on pushing. There's another one just tucked around the side. That's going to give them a weapon, but they're going with the bomb. Yeah, this is... I mean, that was risky play from NiP, but you know what? They've been doing that all tournament. And it's 10-7. They know better than we do.
Yeah. You know, normal logic tells you you don't want to run into the stack of the other team, but I guess in this case it doesn't really matter. Freiburg doing a good job with that P90.
I guess when you've got SMGs, you want them. You want the kills.
You want the kills, yeah. You want to get some more money. And, you know, also Forrest being able to get into that kind of a position potentially would have been able to trade pretty easily if Freiburg goes down.
Oh, Forrest is moving fast. He's straight up the top of mid. He's come around the corner, but he's going straight into the CZ75 at device. And that will be a UMP going in towards his hand. Now Freiburg's going to switch it round. He tries to quicken up the pace with Exist, tries to draw the fire, tries to draw the smoke at Banana, but you can see TSM holding rock steady, keeping their positions. A little boost from Carrigan. There's the smoke as they ready themselves to burst around the corner.
Rotation has already happened from TSM as well, yeah. So NiP might be in for a bit of a rough surprise.
Device is ready. Exist is going to be the first man to peek. Tries to get the little shoulder glimpse around the corner, but he does manage to find Carrigan, but he's quickly responding. Exist and Freiburg both dropped there, and that UMP of Device that he managed to collect off the corpse of Forrest all the way back at the top of mid has maybe backfired on NiP, as both Alu and Get Right, the sole two standing. Alu with the AK. Still very rigid defense from TSM as they hold. Don't peek. Device is going to get a look around. Alu's looking the other way. Get Right's about to jump and peek, but he gets caught out, and that's going to be quickly caught in the back, and that is TSM picking up the round. That was just pistols for TSM. That is a vital round for them, and a very tricky situation for NiP because it's left them in a bit of a shoddy buy situation.
Yeah, and they're actually going to go for the buy as well. Normally, when you force buy, you want to do it because you can mess with the economy of the opposing team, but seeing how TSM picked up an eco round with no investment, that's going to leave them in a pretty okay state regardless. But NiP, they just want to put the pressure on. And I guess that goes very well with what we've seen them do previously in this best of three already.
Forrest going for the stack there. They've boosted up. I think it's Alu that's boosted possibly. Well, Get Right was the lead man, but that's been changed around. Grenades getting thrown out. They're continuing to check out that sandbags. And that's a spot that NiP used almost every single round, but we haven't seen TSM go in there yet. They haven't got the economy to get those deep smokes either to force NiP back just yet, because this is their first big round. Freiburg continues to cause himself a nuisance over on A side, while Get Right does the same on B, but are yet to find an angle, because TSM are doing very good at hiding around the corners.
Yeah, and they're doing a good job of just using their nades at the right times as well. Even with the Molotov going down, TSM still have one more smoke to use for that B entrance. So it's going to be really hard, and it's not going to be a lot of time left for NiP to do anything towards B if that's where they want to go. But it looks like they've changed their mind a bit. So we have 3 people pushing up towards middle here. You can see Get Right rotating over. Seems like it's going to be the A committal from NiP.
But it's a triple hole from TSM on A side. Dupree just dodging in and around pit, and Forrest will find him, but KSHB is still back there. I'm not too sure if they realize they haven't cleared it out. They do now, but the damage is being done. Device gets himself another, but is it going to be enough? KSHB goes for the reload. Alu manages to find him. Just 5 health remains, and he gets the plant down. Zipnik's coming, bursting around the corner, and Carrigan joining him. Carrigan with the P90 spray gets him down, and the defuse will come. It's 10-9, this game going the distance.
It really is, and so even though NiP do get the bomb plant, I don't see them buying up in this round. That would be Madison. As you can see, they're all around 3K, so this is probably going to be an eco. Maybe they buy a couple of pistols and see what they can do to damage TSM's economy right about now, but yeah, definitely not expecting to buy. Yeah, it seems like, yeah, light Kevlar and a couple of Tech 9s here on NiP. This should be a fairly easy round for TSM, but we've seen stranger things happen.
We've seen some very strange things happen. Namely, NiP just bursting through everybody. Let's see how it works out. KSHB has actually gone fairly deep on this one, and I think he might try and catch NiP off guard, but Alu got a little glimpse. Did he see him? Forrest checks. It doesn't matter. Now they know. But he is a caged animal right now as Alu tries to force him out. He picks around the side, but Exist will find him. Dupree trying the cover fire, but it wasn't to beat. But now it gives the position away. All of NiP stacked up in those apartments, and TSM trying to close that net around them. Freiburg just catching a glimpse at Banana, making sure that Carrigan hadn't gone too aggressive around the back of him. And it's actually forced NiP to back off a little and slow the pace down, even though they have got these Tech 9s.
Garrett manages to get his hands onto Cajun's Colt as well, so that gives him a bit more firing power right now. And Device is holding mid alone. So he could easily get overpowered here, especially with that Molotov.
Oh, he gets burnt out. Get Right does manage to land that shot. He was Exister went down, but it's a 3-on-3 still, so entirely doable by NiP here. Allo gets that little glimpse towards Archway, and we do see it's Zipnix again, that little peek around Library, caught a glimpse of him, knows that it's there. Now Dupree is well aware that he's going to get caught out in pit, but that was a great little second check from Zipnix. Dupree not to be cleared out. Zipnix with the support. Fantastic defensive setup in the end from TSM.
Yeah, really well handled, and it could have gotten really scary there. Once NiP managed to get a hold on 2 Colts, I'm actually kind of surprised that they split up like they did, instead of just going as a 3-man group towards the quad side.
So all square. NiP, such a valiant performance so far throughout this tournament. Maybe the last hurrah, who knows what will happen in the coming weeks. But at the moment, TSM starting to return to form, starting to return to the glory that they've started to pick up the last couple of months, and hoping that they can reach this final spot. Or will NiP do the unthinkable and put their last hurrah into that final? Who knows? Best of 5. Anything could happen right now, but TSM using a lot of smoke here. A lot of mollies coming out from NiP as well. So a lot of grenades, a lot of firepower exchange, but nothing yet to connect.
Not much happening right now, and still smoke's in the hands of TSM players towards B, and that's going to be so tough for NiP to actually be able to bait out enough nades from the TSM side, because they really seem to be wanting to go towards the B bomb side, similar to what TSM did. But if they can't bait out the smokes, it's going to be really tough to actually get in there. You can see Kerrigan still having a smoke in his hand. And
there it is. 39 seconds on the clock. Forrest has to be the man that completely pulls this apart. He's got to get around the side. Zipnik's actually on the rotate, coming around Speedway. Forrest is going to get a little glimpse of him. Oh, that was such close timing. Kerrigan does get right as they pushed on through, but now the B-bomb site has been cleared out, and they've smoked themselves out of it. So Plant will come down. Ali will get that in. Zipnik's now in a 4-on-3 position. They're actually just pushed on through. Very aggressive stuff from TSM here. I don't think NiP have quite got their defensive setup. Does get spotted. Freiburg gets tagged up heavily. Doesn't manage to land the shot. And surely that gives TSM the site, because Exist and Allo are completely the other side. So now it's going to be 4 members of TSM swarming on in there. They're going to try and line up with the shots, but not one of them lands. And TSM take the site with ease.
Very surprised to see NiP actually committing with 2 people outside of the B bomb site. Sure, one guy there to kind of just be a distraction for the better part of a retake, that I can completely understand. Putting Freiburg alone to pretty much defend the entire B bomb site, that's a bit more risky, or too risky for my opinion.
Maybe just keep the one in new box. It's almost the safest option always, really, but you never know what goes through their minds. TSM now in the lead, and it is potentially a healthy lead, because as we see NiP back on the Tech-9s, and the speed and power and the aggression that we've been seeing from NiP throughout this first map and the second map has been lacking, and Inferno is one of the maps that will do that. It will sap it out of you, it will slow things down, and Device not being caught out by the games of Get Right, but Freiburg will quickly catch him out there. He can only catch them or fool them once. Cajun B is going to be in Allo's face there, point blank range, couldn't miss that one. And now, of course, the rest of the team come looking. Freiburg gets himself one, does get taken down, and TSM, Cajun B will absolutely get the spray down. 12-10, NiP starting to force everything.
Yeah, up on Alu now as well.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. If TSM continue to play with this aggressive style towards Banana, where they smoke off the bottom, I could definitely see Alu potentially getting a pick if they're early to do the boost there, but it seems like he has other plans right now. Going up second mid here.
Dupree was actually about to join him. Exister's gone very aggressive here. I think he knows that Carrigan's in the corner. That molly will catch him. They're going to keep the shots rattling out. They've forced him out. They do manage to get the catch on towards Carrigan, but it's quickly answered by Device. Meanwhile, down in mid, Zipnix and Dupree have managed to rotate towards B site, so Exist and Freiburg not going to be able to get in there just yet. Alu's still holding with that all, unable to find anyone, because that is the big issue of Inferno. There is a lot of smoke, and those orbs sometimes are not that useful.
Yeah, that's definitely an issue, and that's kind of why I expected them to pick it up to kind of counter the aggression in Banana from TSM. Instead, it's just kind of been roaming around and not really doing all that much. Well, TSM are giving NiP a lot of space to work with here, though, and if the rotation between B here, which is Zipnix, goes down, then that could spell really big trouble for TSM.
Did he catch Freiburg as he passed on by? Cajun B's down in pit. Device on site. He's going to get found. And now Xyp9x, they have to clear out Cajun B because he's a real nuisance. Exist gets him down, but now he's in a 1-on-2. Big tag on towards Xyp9x there, but he still manages to get the shot. A great couple of kills from Xyp9x and Cajun B once again to carry TSM heavily into the lead.
Xyp9x can thank his lucky stars that the 3-pole was in the way right there. Otherwise, he's dead. And right now, it's that small of a margin that it's actually you know, working in the way of TSM right now. And, well, NiP force buying, even without the bomb plant, they're kind of committing everything they have into this right now, and they have the money loss bonus going in their favor. And, well, they're starting to get to the point where they have to pick up rounds, and you can see TSM pushing so aggressively with no smokes.
Well, Carrigan's going all the way down bottom mid, but he does get caught out by Alu. Maybe a little too aggressive. Device is also pushed down with the AWP through the smoke, and he quickly backtracks. Wasn't able to get caught out by NiP, though. But that's forced Xyp9x to back up over to B. And that's going to give the numbers advantage to NiP over on A side. But Cajun B has been an absolute solid rock down and around pit. With Dupree backing him up, do not rule them out just yet, as NiP are really starting to be up against here. I feel if TSM can get 14, it's almost an insurmountable challenge for NiP. It's going to be Dupree getting around, gets one, gets two, and gets out alive. And that is a real problem. NiP, they had the numbers advantage, but they've just been caught napping there, completely caught out in the back. And now Xyp9x with the rotation is given the advantage very much into the hands of TSM. They have the angles, they have the positions, and they simply need to pick off NiP as they make this push. Dupree gets caught out by the nade, but Xyp9x is still alive. Cajun B and Xyp9x have been an absolute solid rock in defense, but Gerai will get one. Xyp9x on site will catch out onto another, but Gerai gets taken down. Xyp9x once again, the birthday boy, is performing for TSM. A lot of questions were put on his position going into Cologne, but he has delivered once again for TSM.
Yeah, and he's been instrumental. Every time he's rotated over towards that A-bomb side, he's been crucial to shutting down either the guy flanking around from arch area for NiP, or just coming in with really timely kills that's saving, you know, one of the last defenders on TSM, either in pit or on site. He's been doing a massive job so far.
Last roll of the dice for NiP. Tech9s, they have to try and force something, but their speed play has been lacking. They can't manage to get the rushes, the smokes through, and Cajun B, the confidence started to show now for TSM. They're starting to make more and more plays. Device not able to land the shot, but will get out untouched and lays down the smoke to cover his retreat, but it's NiP. They're going to push on through. Carrigan, he's got himself tucked up in porch. And NiP realize this is too risky a situation. Their semi-finals, their careers all on the line here, but Carrigan on porch, untouched, unpressured, will get himself a double. Device pops around the side. It's beautiful for TSM. They take it to match point.
Match point it is, and, well, double ups coming up on the T side for NiP, and that's definitely not something you don't see every day. A lot of needs to work with, but as of right now, NiP have had plenty of positions where they've been in a favorable situation, but they haven't been able to capitalize on it because TSM have been doing such a good job with, you know, a man down or something to that effect and still gotten out ahead. So this is very worrisome for NiP.
Is this it? Is this the last we see of the current NiP? I wonder, as TSM look to put the sword and the boot down, as it was a very close first half. 8-7 was the score. It was NiP that had the lead, but they've only picked up 2 rounds on the T side so far, and TSM somewhat maybe questionable. I don't know. CT side, they certainly questioned it themselves, but they have been magnificent so far. And they have covered everything that they needed to. Cajun B and Xyp9x especially, that duo has worked wonders. And Device, he's landing the shots. Everything is going TSM's way. Just 2 men remain for Ninjas in Pajamas. It's Exist and Freiburg. Exist gets in, gets one, but it's quickly caught out. And Freiburg, the other side of the map, miles away, will get taken down. It's Team Solo Mid, ladies and gentlemen, that will go through to the finals here in Dubai.
No, talk about a turnaround. Because after seeing that first map on Dust 2, they got absolutely destroyed by NiP, made it back with a really strong Mirage game, and that CT side that they were talking about looking shaky, it looked pretty okay to me.
It looked pretty strong to me, that's for sure. NiP just, in the end, they seem to run out of gas. I think that's pretty much all we can hope for. But great performance from TSM, resilient performance after going down 16-7 on Dust 2. They managed to strike straight back, 16-8 on Mirage, and 16-10 there to close it out on Inferno. When we looked at the map pool, we had to really give it to TSM. They were clearly the favorites coming into this one, and they do make it to that finals. The question is, can they now go all the way? It's Virtus.pro or Fnatic that await them. I don't think they're going to mind who it is.
No, I think they're, you know, if it ends up being Fnatic, I think they're going to be hungry for revenge. They've lost the last best of 5 they played versus them, so I guess it's time to turn things around. So that's going to be incredibly exciting to see if that ends up being the case. But I think we have an interview ready with TSM on the stage.
You do indeed have an interview ready, and I am with a man who needs very little introduction, but it fills me with great pride to do so. Kerrigan, how are you feeling, sir?
I feel good. It's finally good to be in a big tournament final, so we are very happy with that.
Now, obviously, NiP was never going to be easy for you guys. You know them incredibly well. You play them, you know, almost like brothers. What's it like going up against them here in this situation at this level and in the ESL ESEA?
I think we were up 8-0 in the matchup and maps, but this NiP at this tournament is completely different. You can feel the way they're playing with the power, and they're more unpredictable, in my opinion. That makes me hard to read sometimes, especially at CT. We are all rotating, stuff like that. So basically, it's a new NiP you saw at this tournament, and that was hard to counter, in my opinion. We just had to play our own game and hit the shots when they finally came at us.
Now, obviously, you know, we're in the same hotel. I've seen you around. I've seen the team around. You guys have been very calm, kind of enjoying yourself. How has preparation been for you for this event?
I mean, preparation have been so-so because we had the Fragmite tournament, a major, and we had like all small vacations. But we have small things we need to change the whole map, and we need to change that in the tournament. So basically, it was hard to prepare for NiP. So we had to prepare for our own style, our own game, how we want to attack the game, and that's what happened today. So, and basically, we got outplayed on Dust 2. We didn't hit our shots. We all rotated too much, and they took the advantage of that, and that's why it was 16-7 on Dust 2 first map.
So I have to ask you, you mentioned there you got outplayed. What do you say to the team? What are you guys communicating to each other in a moment like that?
I mean, it was like in phase of finals, the first match against NiP, we just had no chance in the first map. I also feel like we start very slowly sometimes, and the communication's bad, lose the wrong rounds. So basically just kept the head high up, and then we just knew we had to win Mirage to get back to the game, and then Inferno was a coin flip, and this time went to our side.
Now, I will ask you, because this crowd's been rooting for you and they've really been supportive of you. When you came out, it was a standing ovation. They're here waiting for you right now. What's that like for you?
It's amazing. I love to play on stages and in front of crowds like this, and this is why you play the game. This is the passion about and the pressure from the crowd. It's just amazing. So thank you guys.
Great, guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. I'm sure you want to get back to the team, and I'm sure we'll see you again. Guys that will have lots to talk about will, of course, be the gentlemen on the analyst desk, and they are led by a man called Machine.
Thanks very much, Sean. It's good to hear Kerrigan kind of calling Inferno a coin flip, the same kind of title we dubbed it, considering how successful NiP have been when they're in that cornered beast mode. You kind of highlighted it. So good to see that TSM had the same read on things, but they do manage to pick up victory in the end. And I'm going to head over to the Dane to start things off. TSM picking up the victory there. It's gonna feel good. It's also gonna be kind of bittersweet to see NiP out of the tournament for you.
I mean, yeah, especially considering how well they've been playing in this tournament. It sort of feels like, you know, you wanted to see if they could carry it the full way, because that's actually what we're used to. We used to see NiP struggle in group stages, just barely make it into the playoffs, and then just go, like, just explode into the finals, you know? Seemed like they're about to do something similar here, but I think it was also somewhat predictable. I feel like, especially once they lost the second map there on Mirage, if you are playing that you know, loose, we've got no pressure style, once you lose the second map, it's very hard to get back in. So it's not a huge surprise, I think. And TSM, luckily, you know, I was talking about measuring how far they've come since they're choking on semis days, and it feels like they've made it a fair bit further. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, even just looking at the 3 maps that were played, I mean, despite the result on Dust 2, I still think all 3 of those maps favored TSM. I mean, Kerrigan mentioned they started slow on that first map. He notes they have a tendency to do that. That's something they've got to be careful of moving into the finals for whoever they play tomorrow. But either way, just so much for NiP to handle. And it was great because that magic, that get right and force combination, you know, even Alu had a great tournament. And Exist chimed in at some great parts. Freiburg had some, all of them stepped up and had some crucial kills at crucial times. And it gave you that feeling like there was that hope, there was that magic that was about to shine through. And then just TSM just ends it there. One of the best teams in the world.
Tons of fun, I think, on this final map to see Device playing with the Orb, because he was playing like a very fluid style, sort of almost like JW-esque, just like free to run around, free to take shots, and not afraid to be like super mobile, and just had very good mechanics with it. So that's nice. I think Device is actually like a better AWP on Inferno than he is on a bunch of other maps where AWPing should be easier.
Well, you know who else has that reputation is Alu.
Yeah,
a lot of people say that Alu on Inferno is his playground.
Yeah, I don't know why that is, but it's a lot of fun to see.
There's a lot of question marks sometimes surrounding Alu and the way he can kind of bring frags in odd occasions and sometimes not in the occasions where you'd expect him to thrive, I think is something that people have mentioned as of late. Another point I want to bring up now is about TSM, where they go from here. Because TSM have managed to get themselves into, he said himself, it's been a while since we've been in the grand final of a high prize pool tournament. I mean, they've struggled at the majors. They've been kind of had this curse of 3rd, 4th, despite being a team that have been placed in the top 2 regularly. Can I kind of poke you guys a little bit for why you think that is? Why are TSM sometimes a stranger to these grand finals, despite being such a highly regarded team, Moses?
Yeah, you know, I'm honestly, I'm not 100% sure, because we see a lot of teams going through that struggle. We saw Na'Vi reach that peak, and now they're on a decline, and then we saw Cloud9 reach that peak, and they're on a decline. And you know, outside of, you know, really Fnatic, I mean, there's no team that's been really consistent in recent memory. Virtus Pro just finally are on an upswing now. It's something that all teams are struggling with at the moment, is finding that consistency. Only Fnatic's really solved that puzzle. That conundrum.
I mean, I think part of the explanation also just has to be that within the field of top 6 to 8 teams, we have like a really good representation of this tournament. The skill level is so high that you can't just focus on 2 teams and say, if we beat them, then as long as we make it out of the group stage, we can, if we meet them in the quarterfinals or semis or grand finals, we'll have a decent shot. You have to sort of prepare for everyone, and since everyone has such a different style, you know, Virtus Pro and Envy, just to take 2, play such a different style that it's very hard if you're TSM and you have to sort of prepare for both. There's a chance you'll come up short against one or both, really. And you know, if TSM had been Envy this time around, there could be a chance they could have got knocked out earlier.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off there. I mean, at this level, you're not going to beat teams solely on skill. You're not going to beat teams solely on tactics in best of 3s. I mean, you can't just emphasize one, and when you're going up in these maps, I mean, all these styles, like you said, they're just clashing, and sometimes it's going to go your way, and there's just so many talented players that can make things happen, and it all depends on the timing of when those big plays come out. I mean, in one round, it can just ruin your economy, decimate your economy, and all of a sudden you're down 2 more. So, I mean, it's just big-time players showing up, and that's kind of part of what I think is a lot of inconsistency here.
Yeah, I saw you raise your hand. Was there something you wanted to add?
Well, just to say that this is exactly
me.
Just to say that this is what we were all hoping for. I mean, we've been talking about NiP and sort of like the vintage NiP and where they're coming back, and so like you got to remember as well. You know, in the vintage NiP, their 87-0 record. They were playing teams where there was only one other team who even looked like they were remotely close to beating them, and that was the French Very Games team. So for Very Games, they just had to focus on beating, you know, a couple of other teams to try and get to beat NiP in the finals, and even they eventually actually ran into a problem where they would start losing to other teams like Copenhagen Wolves or Western Wolves, because they were so focused on beating NiP that suddenly, you know, they opened up weaknesses to other teams. Well, now it's like that for everybody. You know, if you start to feel like, well, okay, we're losing a lot to Envy, let's try and really focus on how to beat them, then suddenly you run into a different team like Cloud9 to show up, and they are way more prepared. It's a really hard game. That's also why I keep sort of pressing this point that you need more than one person in the team to look at demos. You need like a small army of people, because the competition level is so high now.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good point, because Cloud9, when they reached those consecutive finals, I mean, no one expected them in the Pro League to do damage. No one was really watching out for them, and then they had a great performance. And then they had another one, and then all of a sudden now, you know, they're traveling a lot. They don't have time to do the scouting, and every team can look at all these different, you know, amazing best of 3s they've had against really good teams and really dissect that. Yeah. And that's when they kind of catch up. So it's this constant back and forth. And I think part of the reason why Fnatic is one team that's been so stable is they're a hard team to read, because they have players that just defy the rules, doing crazy things that you don't expect to come out.
And they do actually have more than just Vugo. I think they have a couple of people more who are sort of, if not employed
behind the scenes.
Yeah, who are
just like demo watchers, taking notes and passing it on.
That makes a huge difference.
That actually rings a bell. I remember talking to Devilwalk when I had him on the desk, and he was saying, I can't tell you what he does, but Pronax has a very special way of watching demos efficiently. And it was like, there's a whole lot of lines of code he puts in, and there's a way he does it with notepads and stuff that he can like quickly pull all the information he needs very quickly. I reckon there's a real art to this that probably goes unnoticed and unsaid amongst the high-level CS.
Yeah, it's Pronax who's good at it. You probably got to look at Sean Gares. I know Sean has always talked about he spends multiple hours on one demo, you know, looking for things, you know, and it's evident when we've seen him cast at events in the past. You know, even I'm sometimes amazed by his ability. He knows these tendencies that, you know, sometimes when I'm watching matches, I don't even think to like look out for what Sean's noticing, and that's part of what makes him such a good strategic in-game leader. There
are tons of cool examples also on other teams, and we bring up all these great in-game leaders, but we've had lately CLG with Cutler. When we talk about Inferno, Cutler had some really, really cool games lately where he managed to call CT side Inferno. I mean, if not flawlessly, then pretty damn close to, you know, maybe calling correctly 12 out of 15 rounds. That's super cool. That takes hard work, but when it pays off and you see it work, it's really difficult. It's really cool. But then, you know, you got to do that not just against one team, but, you know, 10 teams, and that's where the trouble lies.
And over multiple maps.
Yeah, on multiple maps.
There's a deep pool, and I mean, talking of deep pools, one of the teams that has the deepest and the biggest, strongest, scariest map pool is Fnatic, and they're going to be going up against Virtus Pro straight after the break. A reminder, though, about the theScore eSports app. Do be sure to check that one out for both a catch-up of what you may have missed earlier on in the tournament or what could be coming up both today in this very match or coming up tomorrow for our grand finals. Who will join TSM? We will provide the answer in another best of 3 straight after this.